Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 15th, and all I can say is whee, because it feels like we are on a merry-go-round, a roller coaster. More like a roller coaster. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up. Goodness, yesterday and the last few days, so starting Thursday, Friday, and then yesterday, we all had news that came out at the end of the lunch hour, and it just sent us spinning around. So we looked like we really didn't move that much. A lot of work yesterday to get, well, right back to where we started. So let's look at that in the SPY real quick, so it looks a little different. You can see here that we have a candle where we took a big dip on the news regarding Russia and Ukraine, and those tensions really heating up. So we did what all roller coasters do. We took a huge drop, and then we just started spinning around. Ended up not too far off of our highs of the, or off of our open of the day, but it seemed like a lot of work to get back to where we started. And we all know how frustrating that is when you're trading and trying to get a direction. So took that dip, climbed our way back up, not quite up to the open. Now the futures, if you come back here and look at the futures, which is usually where we start our day, we look and we can see that this is a very bullish candle pushing up on more positive news, I guess, or easing of tensions. Now, I will say this, I'm not sure how much I would trust this, not just the news, but I think that we just have so much. The news has been changing incredibly rapidly. So what that means to me is just don't have quite as much exposure out there. Be a little bit more cautious. So I'm holding two positions. I'm still holding UAL and I am holding WFC, and I took that a little smaller so I could add to it here on on any dip, which now we're not going to get. But we also have FOMC. So if we didn't have enough international news, we have FOMC. Aren't you excited? This is amazing. Right now it feels terrible. But if you're having a lot of troubles right now in the market, it's not you. I mean, it could be, but for the most part, it is a very difficult market to trade. So what are we going to look for today? And I think that that's probably, like what can we do? How do we mitigate? How do we prepare if there is news that's dropped up, maybe later in the day? Well, again, I'm going to say keep your positions a little smaller. Don't add to losing positions. I feel like some of the emails that I get and people that I talk to, this is the number one thing. You're like, well, we went back below the 200. Now we're coming back above. I'm going to go ahead and add to this position. But if that position's red, I am asking you, almost begging you to not add to it. Do it on paper and then see how it works out. But we can easily get smacked with news. And again, FOMC this week. So we have to contend with all of that. The other thing, we're going to have to watch our volume today. And the reason I say that is today and this rally and grasping these small, any good headline to push us up, is it a lifeboat? Right? We don't know. And that's the thing. We don't know until after it's done. You don't know in the moment that it may be that lifeboat. But if we can push ourselves back up over the 200, give ourselves a nice strong close, closer maybe like in the top 10% of the candle, 20%, that will feel a lot better if we do it with some good volume. Otherwise, that is a warning signal. It's a caution sign that people may have just been closing their positions, getting what they can, and sitting on the sidelines. Now, we do expect that there will be an interest rate hike announced. Now, the question is 25 or 50 basis points. That's the debate. And a lot of analysts on the street say that they have now baked in that 50% hike. So, okay, I guess we're ready for it. We're prepared. Let's just go ahead and do it. So we'll probably get 25 basis points because, again, they don't call me and ask me. They really could. But anyway, we are in WFC here. For today, though, I did not pick WFC. I picked XLF. And I picked that because it is more broad base. All right, sorry for that pause. Okay, this morning I picked the XLF because I'm already in WFC, and personally, I'm going to look to add to that position probably on an opening range break. And I'm not going to hop right in, but the opening range break is what I'm going to look for in WFC. I'm already in. If you look at my current holdings, I am in the April 14th, April 14th 60 call at 240. So I will look to add to that position. But if you're not in a position, you can look at most of the bank names, but I really like Bank of America, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. All of those are great, or you can do the XLF. I like the 414 XLF 40 calls. I like my entry there right around 58.35 or an opening range break, because we are looking to move a little bit here this morning. But close it if we get a close back below the 8. Again, with financials, or with the FOMC all but certain to raise rates, I think it's really important to be a part of that move. Now, it could be a sell the news. As soon as it happens, you got to be ready to get out, but we have a little time here to get on in. All right, next, the other sector we are constantly talking about is the travel sector. So I'm heading right back over here to ABNB. They have earnings tomorrow, so you know what? I thought I had another day on this. So this is just going to end up having to be a day trade because they do. You can swing it overnight, but I would be out before those earnings tomorrow. But look at this beautiful pattern up, and then just putting in a nice little wedge right here on Airbnb. I like this above 175.35. And again, travel continues to be strong. You don't have to just stick here with Airbnb. EXPE has been on our list an awful lot here. Look at the hotels. Marriott. HLT is Hilton. H is Hyatt. You can throw Disney in this category. DIS. Right? They've already had earnings. They tapped the 50, pushed on up. Disney's another good one. Booking. BKNG. All of these are good names to watch for travel and getting back out, planning those vacations especially. And I said this yesterday, as we continue to remove those mask mandates and ease restrictions on people in those travel destinations, these are all good places to look. All right, and then we're going to take a little walk over here in Square. I know it's called block, but to me this will always be Square because they have an SQ and it just seems easier. Anyway, great consolidation down here. Now we do have earnings coming up, but nice little squeeze. I like this. There's a lot of volume, and it keeps coming up on my volume scans because the more volume that builds in here, and they're holding the price fairly steady, just lends itself to a move up, right? So whenever we get that, a lot of volume, but price holding fairly steady, I mean, we've had a few days of a bump, but for the most part, we've held very, very steady. That is people piling into this. We do have earnings, but then looks like a move to the upside. I like it this morning. We will have a 3.8 and we'll be just above the 20. So lending to another bullish lean to Square. I like it at 116.20 or on ORB. Be sure to close it. If it doesn't hold over the 20 moving average, get out. We can play it again later after earnings. So on those, I did pick the 3.18s because we do have earnings coming up. So a lot of other names that we were watching yesterday. Snap was looking pretty snappy. And of course, got hammered with the rest of the market, but come back on into this. ABBV, Alan pointed this one out. Beautiful move, right? Nice move up, couple day pause. Looks like a bull flag forming right here in ABBV. Zendesk had big news last week. They had earnings, and then they had the activist news inside of it. So take a look at this. Now we have this great big flagpole. Looks like a little flag forming. Maybe not ready today, but anything over the 200 in Zendesk. ASAN, move up. We took a pause, moved up. Wouldn't have known that yesterday was a troublesome day in the market looking at this chart. So ASAN. Las Vegas Sands holding very nicely here over the 200. You could also go take a look at MGM on this. This one had a bigger pullback or win, right? Holding very nicely going into their earnings. CHWY was another one. This one we've talked about a couple times. It closed over the 50. We really liked it. It came back in. Not a lot of movement on some pretty volatile days. Held over the 50. Yesterday came back in, pushed. Again, wouldn't really know that we were having a bad market day or a turbulent market day. Holding over the 50 beautifully here in CHWY. And then the other one that we watched quite a bit yesterday, I know some of you are already in this, Nike. Nice push up, nice double bottom, now triple bottom, pushing up, like it, up over this trend line that we have here. So over 143.35, 143.40 area. Like that for a push on up. So take a look at that. There's some other names in there, but those are my favorites that I'll be watching today. I hope you have an awesome day. If you have any questions, reach out. Heather C, GivingTreeTrading.com.